Along the western coast of the rich and prosperous Westerlands, the city of Lannisport was founded by a branch of House Lannister. Originally a small village south of Casterly Rock, it eventually rose to become a rich and powerful settlement, second only to Old Town before the construction of King's Landing. With close ties to the Lannister kings of the Rock, many of the families that reside in Lannisport had blonde hair with names like Lannis, Lannettes, and Lantells, likely descending from various branches of House Lannister. Unfortunately, their location makes them a prime target for the Ironborn, who often raided the area, burning the city at least 3 times, with these conflicts often leading to war between the territories. During the Dance of the Dragon Civil War in 130 AC, the Westerlands and Iron Islands once again were at odds, with the Red Kraken Dalton Greyjoy burning the Lannister fleet and sacking Lannisport. 4 years later, the Westerlands retaliated, successfully attacking the Iron Islands and bringing treasure and highborn hostages back home. Lannisport also saw battle during the First Blackfire Rebellion, when Sir Quentyn Ball killed Lefford Lannister outside its gates, forcing Daemon Lannister into retreat. After Robert's rebellion, the Seven Kingdoms knew peace for a number of years. However, soon Balon Greyjoy of the Iron Islands attempted his own rebellion, with his brothers creating and executing a plan of sailing secretly to Lannisport and burning their fleet to begin the Greyjoy Rebellion. However, their success did not last long, and soon the royal forces arrived to defeat the claimant king. Originally founded by the First Men as a harbor for trade along the south of the Vale, Gulltown developed into a rich and prosperous city, acting as an important hub to keep the Vale well supplied. Under the First Men, it was House Shet who ruled the area. However, when the Andals began their migration west, House Shet chose to ally with the invaders against House Royce of Runestone, who refused to bow to the Andals. Unfortunately, House Shet was betrayed by the Andal knight Gerald Grafton, who was rumored to have used the chaos of battle as a chance to kill the Shet king, then usurping his title and taking control of Gulltown. And while the people attempted rebellion, Gerald Grafton proved to be a wise ruler, seeing the settlement prosper greatly under his rule. House Grafton then allied with House Arryn, and together grew Gulltown into a prosperous city with a naval fleet for its protection. During a period of conflict known as the War Across the Water, fought between the North and the Vale for ownership of the Three Sisters, the Starks burned hundreds of their ships, and even made an unsuccessful attempt to conquer Gulltown. Later, during the War of Conquest, the Vale was one of the only territories able to offer significant resistance against the Targaryens, using their naval fleet to achieve several victories in the early part of the war. However, they could do nothing to protect against dragons, and so House Arryn eventually bent the knee. Nearly 300 years later, at the outbreak of Robert's Rebellion, the Vale was split, with House Arryn supporting the rebels, while Mark Grafton gathered royalist forces at Gulltown. However, Robert Baratheon soon led his armies to battle, forcing Gulltown into submission and killing Mark Grafton during the fighting. Founded along the river White Knife, King Jon Stark of Winterfell drove out local sea raiders to build the Wolf's Den, which over the years was ruled by various branches of House Stark, such as the Grey Starks, as well as other northern families like the Flints, Locks, Slates, Longs, Holts, and Ashwoods. However, it would be under House Manderly, originally hailing from the Reach, that the area would truly prosper. Estimated to have occurred between 1000 and 600 BC, there came a time when House Manderly became an enemy of House Peak and the Gardener King in Highgarden. This resulted in their family's exile from the territory. Having lost their ancestral seat and facing the ruin of their house, it was the Starks of the North who welcomed them, bestowing the Wolf's Den as their new home and charging them with the protection of the White Knife. Using the riches they were able to bring from the south, the Manderleys built the city of White Harbor, protected by thick walls and later a small naval fleet. Within the city, they built the Sept of Snows to honor their faith in the 7 gods of the south, a great hall called Merman's Court where they hold feasts, and a new residence for their family at Newcastle, converting the Wolf's Den into a prison. Outside the city harbor, there is a massive stone in the sea known as Seal Rock, where the First Men built a ring fort which has now been fortified with crossbowmen, scorpions, and spitfires defending the area. During the War of the Five Kings, House Manderly raised 1,500 men to join Robb Stark as he marched south, and during the Ironborn attack on Winterfell, they sent 12 barges filled with knights, war horses, and siege engines, only to be betrayed by the Boltons who burned Winterfell. Although the Manderleys were then forced to pledge allegiance to the Lannisters, they never truly turned against the Starks, making a private deal with Davos Seaworth to bring young Rickon Stark from Skagos in exchange for pledging themselves to King Stannis. A special thanks to all those who contribute to Civilization X, like Kyle Blitzsword, Grandmaster Pupper of the Took, and Isle Shadowcat. If you'd like to help the channel with a monthly donation, click on the Patreon link, and please be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to see more.